Brian Hobson, TeeJet Tech Tips. Today, I would like to talk to you about the golf course kits that we have available from TeeJet. There are 4 different kits. There's a Birdie, an Eagle, an Albatross, and an Ace, much like the things you shoot for in golf. The Birdie kit is where we begin. The Birdie kit is a TeeJet 845 automatic rate controller, and it does just that. It automatically controls your rate. It has 3 sections, so you can have a left, right, and center, or you can use 2 sections if you wish, but it comes with 3. All of these kits will come with a manifold, will come with nozzle bodies, will come with 3 sets of tips to go on your 3 turret nozzle body, and it will also come with the rate controller that goes with the kit. So like I said, the Birdie kit comes with an 845 3-section manifold, and it's an automatic rate controller that will control your rate based on the flow meter that is installed in the manifold, and also has a pressure transducer, so not only do you know your pressure, the rate controller knows the pressure, and can also be controlled by pressure if you get down to a low enough rate below the flow meter. However, that'll be pretty hard to do since the flow meter is an EM flow meter by TeeJet and FM 9380 that'll get all the way down to 0.6 gallons per minute and up to a max of 100 gallons per minute. The second kit I want to talk to you about is the Eagle. The Eagle kit is a step up from there. So now you will have a Matrix 908 display for mapping, which is, you can see in the corner here, we have one installed on this machine, for mapping and guidance, as well as a Radion, which is an automatic rate controller, similar to the 845. When you have these 2 paired together, you now not only have automatic rate control, but since you have mapping, you will have automatic section control. So those same 3 sections that you would have gotten with the Birdie kit, in the Eagle kit, you get 3 sections via the Radion controller, and that will allow you to have automatic section control on where you have and have not sprayed. So if you've already sprayed an area and you're driving into that area, it will automatically start cutting each section off, or cut all sections off if you're coming straight in. And then as you come back out, it'll cut 1 section at a time back on, or all sections back on at a time if you go straight out. And that's the Eagle kit. The Albatross kit is a step up from there. So the Albatross kit is a Matrix 908 and an IC45 and a PLP module that goes with the IC45 that gives you up to 12 section control, but these sections are individual nozzle control. So if your sprayer, like this one in the background here, has 11 nozzles, so we're controlling all 11 nozzles individually. There's a solenoid that goes on the nozzle body where your check valve would have normally been, and that turns the flow on and off to the nozzle at the nozzle body. What this allows you to do is even more accuracy when you're coming in and out of where you've already sprayed, or spraying tee boxes or greens or fairways or any of that. Instead of having a whole section that may be 4 or 5 nozzles at one time that have to turn on or off, we can do it with 1 nozzle, like in the instance of the sprayer behind me, which is on a 20-inch spacing, and we can cut those off at 20-inch spacings. You still have the mapping because you have the Matrix 908. You can upgrade your GPS if you wish to get a more accurate and more repeatable, so going and mapping your course and coming back to it, you know, next week or next month or next year, and going out here and just spraying tee boxes or just spraying greens or just spraying whatever it is you want to just go spray today, you can pull those up and go and be able to go spray them, and spray them with a high level of accuracy due to the individual nozzle shutoff. And the final kit is the Ace. So Ace is just a bigger combination. So 908, IC45, which is a rate controller, and then you also have what is DynaJet. And DynaJet is a PWM nozzle control system. So you still get your individual nozzle on and off just like you would with Albatross, like the previous kit I was talking about. And you also get, with the PWM control, you get droplet size control. So this is really big for drift and being able to control how far things go. So if the application I'm going to do today, I don't really care about drift, but man, I really need some good coverage, well then you can go in there and you can select a finer droplet size to get more coverage across the ground, and it will stay in that finer droplet size and maintain your rate. Because the way that PWM system works is to get into the weeds a little bit, a pulse width modulation. So it's a constant on and off, and it can speed that up or slow that down to drive to a higher pressure and different droplet size, or lower pressure, different droplet size. Also, on the other side of that is, what I'm spraying is really sensitive today, and I don't need to get it on anything other than just my greens, or anything other than just my tee box or my approach or whatever part it is, or maybe you're just spraying turf in general, and I really don't need this to go anywhere because I don't want to kill the neighbor's roses or flowers or whatever it is. Then you can change to a larger droplet size if you wish, and turn out, so you could have a very coarse droplet size selected, and then you could have a coarse droplet size selected, and then you could turn off a finer droplet size if you want. Or you can leave it alone, and it's going to find the medium of all of those, and it's going to drive itself to that medium all the time, to that average droplet size of every range that tip has. Most time, if you get in those areas that really need to be careful with droplet size, the wind's blowing today, you may can hear the wind, it's actually blowing really hard here today. You want to get to that bigger droplet size. I need to get it on the ground. I don't need to take any chance of it going anywhere. And that's when you can go select, no, I need you to stay in very coarse. And the system will adjust itself to put out the right target rate at that very coarse droplet size. You also will get turn compensation with this. So, as we know that, golf courses or even turf in general or any of that, a lot of things are smaller and tight turns and all of that. So you get turn compensation with it, because the way that PWM system works is it can take care of that. If you're making a left turn, the inside needs to spray a little less, the right side needs to spray a little bit more, and vice versa. So you get that with it as well. Same as with any of the rest of the kits, every one of these kits will show up with a manifold that will have a flow meter in it, that will have a pressure transducer in it, that will have a regulating valve in it to regulate your flow. And then if it's one of the Birdie kits or Eagle kits, it will show up with 3 electronic section valves. And then if it's an Albatross or an Ace kit, it will show up with 12 solenoid valves to go on to your nozzle bodies. Every kit comes with brand new 3 turret nozzle bodies and 3 sets of tips to go with said nozzle bodies.